Good day and welcome to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And let's not waste no time. Let's get right to it. So I want to continue the discussion on the best rivalries in NBA history. Okay. And I saw in the comments that a few of the rivalries that some of the forgotten rivalries that are like buried deep in NBA history. Like I saw some of you said an obvious one in the comments. Knicks and Pacers, Jazz Sonics, let's see, Lakers Blazers, trying to think of a very deep down rivalry, man. Very deep down rivalry that I didn't mention, man. Oh, I know rivalry. Jazz Rockets. Yeah, Jazz Rockets. And I'm gonna get to those in a minute. But I want to continue the discussion by starting off with an obvious one. Knicks versus Bulls. Okay. Now, believe it or not, when the Bulls first came into the league, they were a Western Conference team. Believe it or not. That's right. That's just how weird the conferences was back in the 60s, back in the late 60s and the 70s. It was weird. I like that. Chicago came into the league as a Western Conference team, just like the Orlando Magic came into the league as a Western Conference team. I kid you not. The Orlando Magic were in the Western Conference when they first came out. So, but obviously expansion, rearrange some things. So, but this rivalry started back in 81, okay? This rivalry started back in 1981 when the Bulls swept the Knicks 2-0 in the first round. And this was back when the NBA had best of 3 first round series, not best of 5. And the team with the top seed in the East and West got a first round bye. Okay. So the Bulls swept the Knicks 2-0 in the 1981 playoffs. In the first game that the Bulls won 90-80, they had 5 players in double figures. Artis Gilmore had 13, David Greenwood had 17, Ricky Sobers had 18, Reggie Theus had 10, and Dwight Jones had 16. Okay. Former Bull, Bill Cartwright, he had 11 points. Former Bull. Damn, I butchered that. Future Bull, I should say. My apologies. Bill Cartwright had 11 points. And the Knicks had 4 players in double figures. The second game played in Chicago. The Bulls won 115-114 in overtime. Artis Gilmore had 25. Reggie Theus led all scorers with 37. So Reggie Theus had a big game. David Greenwood had 19. Dwight Jones had 11. Ricky Sobers had 11. For the Knicks, they were led by Campy Russell, who had 29. Michael Ray Richardson had 14, and Ray Williams had 24. But Theus was on fire that game. So, that was the origins of the rivalry right there. But I think a few more seeds were planted in the 1982 NCAA championship game. Why do I say that? You had Patrick Ewing for Georgetown, and you had the GOAT, on the other side. MJ hits the game-winning shot. North Carolina wins the championship. And 2 years later, Jordan is drafted by Chicago. Ewing gets drafted by New York in 85. And so opening game of 1986-87. Jordan scores 50 points in the first game of the season against the Knicks. And they win the game. The Bulls were actually trailing that game. And that was Doug Collins' first game in the NBA that he coached. Jordan scored like the last 15, 16 points, ended up with 50. And the Bulls won the game, okay? And then all of MJ's top highlights are shown over and over again. You remember the block he had on Ewing in the 1988 game? You remember the block he had on Ewing? Where he just came in his hair, swatted it out of there. So, here's that. Then their paths crossed again in the 89 playoffs. Where the Bulls won game one. Second round of the 89 playoffs. The Bulls won game one, okay? So it's a back and forth. And the Bulls are up 3-2, going back to Chicago for game 6, okay? And Kenny Walker and Scottie Pippen got into a fight and were both thrown out, okay? Yeah. Kenny Walker and Scottie Pippen got into a fight and were both thrown out. So that's 2 key players for each team lost. So I think the Bulls were leading by 3, or I think the Bulls were leading by 2 or 3, 4, something like that. So the Knicks inbound the ball with a couple of seconds left to go. And they get the ball and inbounds to Trent Tucker. Okay, another future Chicago Bull. By his time, Bill Cartwright. I forgot to mention the Cartwright-Oakley trade. Go figure. Anyway. So the Knicks get the ball inbounds and they find Trent Tucker. And Trent Tucker goes for a 3. Not only does he hit the 3, he's also fouled. And Trent Tucker completes the 4-point play, okay? So the game is tied. Jordan, on the next possession, goes to the hole and is fouled, okay? And he makes both those free throws. So the Knicks inbound the ball. Johnny Newman misses the game-winning 3-pointer. And the Bulls move on. Okay? So it was a little early. So it was during the 1990 season, okay? Where it was 0.1 seconds left on the clock. I kid you not. It was 0.1 seconds left on the clock. The game was tied. And this is where Trent Tucker struck again, okay? The game was tied. Knicks were inbounding the ball. And they get the ball to Trent Tucker, who almost instantaneously puts up a shot, which is a 3-pointer. And he hit it, and the referees counted the basket. and Knicks ended up winning 109 to 106. Okay, so it was after that. So it was after that where the rivalry became one-sided. Um, one-sided for a couple of years in a row. Because after that, the Bulls won 14 straight against the Knicks, including the playoffs. So the Bulls won 14 straight against the Knicks. So after that Trent Hooker 3, the Bulls won the rest of the regular season meetings that year. They won every contest in 1991 in the playoffs, and even after Pat Riley came aboard for the 92 season, the Bulls took all the regular season contests. So it was like I say, it was a one-sided rivalry. Okay. So, but it was stopped in Game 1 of the 92 Eastern Conference Finals, where the Knicks won Game 1 in Chicago Stadium. Bulls would go on to take the series in 7, which is remembered for the Jordan sequence in Game 7. I don't need to mention that Marv Albert did all the work. So, and then so the Knicks took 3 or 4 from the Chicago Bulls in 1993 during the 1993 season. Okay, and that was the Christmas Day game. Knicks versus Bulls on Christmas Day. Okay, and the Knicks led by 10 at halftime. The Knicks were outplaying the Bulls for the whole first half, and they led by 10 at the half. Well, needless to say, that didn't last for long, okay? Because the Bulls came out at halftime and they went on a 10-0 run within the first 2 minutes of the third quarter and had the game tied up. And so they basically took the game away from the Knicks in the third quarter, okay? Because within 2 minutes of the third quarter, the Bulls had tied the game at 49. And so that was the only regular season victory that season that the Bulls had over the Knicks that year. And Jordan had 42 in that game. Okay. So, of course, Knicks won the first 2 in the Eastern Conference Finals, punctuated by the starch dunk. Scottie Pippen was thrown out in Game 2. Bill Oakes was the referee who threw him out. Then Game 3, the turnaround game. And that's when the whole series turned around and Bulls blew the Knicks out of the building, okay? And hold up. Dang it. What am I looking for? Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Okay, yeah. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm gonna show you a couple of confrontations that really turned the series in the Bulls' favor. Cause in the first two games, the Knicks had the Bulls frustrated, and the Knicks had the Bulls losing their cool in Madison Square Garden. Then the series shifts to the Madhouse on Madison, and it's the reverse. The Bulls have the Knicks frustrated. Okay, and John Paxson recalls a statement that Patrick Ewing made after the Knicks had got blown out in Game 3. John Paxson said he knew the Bulls won the series when Patrick Ewing said the Knicks don't need to win in Chicago. Okay? Patrick Ewing said we don't need to win in Chicago, which essentially what he was saying was we have home court advantage. So we'll just win on our home court. Well, didn't quite work out that way. But hold on. Okay, yeah. This is one of the first of several confrontations. Take a look.
Yards, and then both players smart enough to avoid throwing any kind of punches. Look out. They're pushing and shoving. Things could get out of hand. The Knicks now are very frustrated. The trapping defense that bothered the Knicks at the start of the game. And they have jumped to that big lead and have never been headed. Oh, King and Ewing looking to go. Stacey King having words. Now Pippen and Campbell. Mason is over. Scott Williams gets between. The whole incident started as Ewing was fighting for position down low. He brought his arm up high, and King was hit in the face. He did not like that. That started the pushing and shoving. He was quick, looked like he got scratched by Starks, and he was very upset about it. Starks with his fifth foul, and also called for a technical. And they continue on. Jordan wanted to go at him, and they're trying to calm Starks down. Starks has been thrown out. John Starks has been ejected. Also called for a technical, but Starks has been tossed. Pat Riley wants to take John Starks out the other way. Instead of going out of the arena, the end that the Knicks normally go out, Pat Riley says just get him downstairs, get him away from the crowd, let him walk underneath the arena, back to the Knicks locker room. Reminiscent of when Starks headbutted Reggie Miller and other Knicks had to go after him to restrain him and let him understand how important they need him. He can't get himself thrown out of game. The hard shot there at Jordan in trying to swipe the ball. Michael's got something to say, and then it continues to go from there. Michael Jordan, 16 for 6.
And it ties perfectly into what I was saying the other day. Basketball was played by men. And we like to see physicality. And we like to see a fight or two. Okay? That's what we like. That's what we like to see. And again, that's been eliminated. But of course, you remember the Scottie Pippen game where game 5 where he stopped Charles Smith about 10,000 times with a couple of seconds left to go, and B.J. Armstrong made the winning layup. And that was essentially it for the Knicks. 1994 comes, and they're meeting again. And of course, Pippen fumes. Pippen fumes on the bench. And of course, you had the famous Scotty versus Scotty on Ewing dunk in Game 6. But I think that series will forever be remembered by Hugh Hollins, who many say wrongfully called a foul on Scottie Pippen. The ironic thing is, Hubert Davis missed a shot. So if the referee didn't call the foul, so if Hugh Hollins didn't call the foul, and Hubert Davis missed the shot, and Pippen or one of the other Bulls grabs the rebound, it could have been Bulls versus Rockets in the 1994 NBA Finals. Because there's a pretty good chance the Bulls would have beat Indiana. But the Bulls were this close. Oh, they were this close. This close. This close. They were that close. Again. But, no. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. So, Knicks ended up winning the series in 7. And there was the other Christmas Day game, Christmas Day 1994, in the new United Center. Pippen had a big game, and Tony Kukoc had a good game too. And not surprisingly, Anthony Mason picked up a flagrant foul during that game. And so, if you remember, at the end of the game, towards the end of the fourth quarter, Anthony Mason threw a long pass, and all Steve Kerr has to do is, basically catch a pass. But instead, Mason throws the pass. Mason throws the pass. Steve Kerr, instead of catching it, knocks it back, and it ends up in the hands of Hubert Davis, who hits a 3 to tie the game. And then you remember Steve Kerr was like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" So the game went into overtime, and the Knicks had the ball. Knicks had the ball, and Pippen actually stopped Hubert Davis. This time a foul was not called. And he also stopped Charles Smith too. And the Bulls won the game in overtime. So, and then the Jeff Van Gundy, where Phil Jackson called him Jeff Van Gundy. Jeff Van Gundy called Michael Jordan a con artist. Then Jordan goes out and scores 51. Jordan goes out and scores 51 and gets the Knicks. And then he looks at Jeff Van Gundy. Then the Bulls were going for back-to-back 70-win seasons. The Knicks denied them in the final game of the 96-97 season. So yeah. So yeah. Pretty excellent rivalry. Then there was the final game as a Bull where Jordan dropped 42 on the Knicks. So yeah. Then there was a 96 playoff series. I forgot to bring that up. Bulls won that one, 4-1. So yeah. All right. That's it of that. That's all. This has been Thrown It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. I am out of here. Peace out. God bless.